Who got the swag? Forward a man. Man, my Donna John go to check.
What is good, y'all? This is JV here, back with another episode of K Hip Hop News. I'm so excited to get this episode out to you guys. I was getting actually pretty nervous that I was actually gonna miss my kind of Sunday release schedule that I've been doing for, I think, like this is the 8th week now that I've done. I'm so glad that you guys really seem to enjoy this series, because I really enjoy doing it. And earlier this week, my editing software completely crashed on me. It was completely becoming incompatible with my computer for some reason out of nowhere. And so I had to make the switch from Adobe Premiere and the Creative Cloud Suite to Sony Vegas. And that transition time and you know, learning how to use the software, I had to do all within a week to make sure that I get this episode out for you guys. But luckily, I was able to finesse my way and do it in time. So let's just get into it. I got 2 stories that were particularly interesting to me this week. And I got a whole bunch of suggestions for you guys. So let's get into it. I think it's been a fantastic week for Korean hip hop. So let's get into it. Andrew over at Hip Hop Korea, shout out to y'all, has a story about Prime Boy establishing his own label. So let's start reading. Korean producer Prime Boy recently launched his new label, Prima Music Group, and I kind of got turned on to this story. Cha Main, actually, you know, the rapper, posted on Instagram a post about Prime Boy. You know, they've worked together before. He's basically one of the more prominent names in the production space in contemporary Korean hip hop. They have listed some of the artists he's worked with before: San-E, Kanto, MC Gree, Mad Clown Swings, Gary Cha Main, and The Quiet. So those just to name a few. He's actually also spilled into the K-pop space too. So it also names the artists that he has signed to Prima Music Group. We got Prime Boy, J-Moon, Quamo, XQ, and they partnered with Brand New Music, and they'll be responsible for the marketing and accounting related matters. However, the direction of Prima Music Group will remain independent and uninfluenced from Brand New Music. Now, for you guys who don't really understand how that works, it's basically in short terms, it's a distribution deal. You see that a lot in the American. You know, there'll be an independent thing, but they'll have like Universal handling distribution of their resources and kind of the financial aspect, but they're maintaining all creative freedom. So Brand New Music doesn't really have a say on release schedules and content and stuff like that. They're really kind of just using them as a marketing resource. So that's really dope. That's a big move. Brand New Music is definitely one of the more prominent hip hop labels over there doing it right now. Some fantastic artists over there. So I'm really glad to see Prime Boy kind of, you know, stepping out on his own and making some big moves from the jump. I think that's really important to do and kind of cement your way into the game with a prominent first step. Second story. This is probably the more interesting of the two. NBC, the show I Am a Singer, anticipated to release a hip hop version. I actually bumped into this story on Twitter. Hip Hop Player was posting about it, and I saw some translations. Also, Andrew from Hip Hop Korea, or KR, was able to translate some of that, so I appreciate y'all for that. So I'm going to read what they got for us. According to Hip Hop Playa, NBC entertainment show I Am a Singer is currently preparing to launch a hip hop version. For those unfamiliar, the show is a popular Korean singing competition where 7 Korean veteran singers perform for a selected audience, which votes eliminate one singer after each episode on a weekly basis. The hip hop version is currently in its preliminary stages. Will likely air a pilot version prior to airing the full season of the entertainment show. Yeah, so I've seen I Am a Singer a couple times. Again, I'm not really into competitive like survival shows, but what I liked about I Am a Singer is that they had the vets on there, super highly skilled people. It's not really a rookie kind of show. So I'm hoping they definitely carry that theme over to the hip hop version. I would love to see this. When you think hip hop vets, I'm thinking, you know, Deep Flow. You got to have P-Type in there. There's a number of guys that you can go. The list is on and on of the different vets that you could have on there. Tiger JK. So I'm excited to see what that holds. I'll definitely be looking out for that, but keep in mind they're just airing a pilot. They still got to get picked up by a major network to actually make it to air. So that's it for stories today. Keep an eye out for that, and I'm gonna down below I'm gonna kind of hit you guys not only with the article links but the resources. So the Cha Main post for the last story, and then also the Hip Hop Playa article I'm gonna include down below so you guys can check it out. Now, next we have the actual recommendations for you guys. Got a number of them for you guys. More singles than albums, but one major album. Last week I spoke on Han Johan, the new Just Music artist. JM making amazing moves. And I saw a little bit of skepticism. People were like, I'm not really sure. They had their ideas who JM should have added to the roster. And some people were not familiar with Han Johan. This is not... He released music beforehand, but this was his debut mini album under Just Music, and I cannot speak enough how much I'm absolutely in love with this project. I posted about it a number of times on Twitter, saying how it's just such an eclectic, diverse mix of music performed at such a high level. It starts off with a little bit of like grunge inspired vocals, and obviously Nirvana influence. They got the shirt on, and then it carries on to some kind of like unconventional, quirky bounce rap, and then that goes into moments where he has like some R&B vocalists. There's moments where he's taking it down with more acoustic stuff. There's part where he's just straight spitting. He's just demonstrating all his strong suits on here, and I just think this is a fantastic mini album. Listen to it a number of times. It's on Apple Music. It's on pretty much everywhere you can find it. So go, check that out and listen to it if you haven't thus far. Next, Overdose dropped Immature on SoundCloud. Pretty much feels kind of like thrown together kind of freestyle stuff. Joey Badass influence there. Big fan of Overdose, so I'm excited to see new music from him coming out steadily. I like that a lot of these Korean rappers are kind of borrowing themes more from the American side, where you're kind of just putting out continuous little music, little things here and there, instead of just completely disappearing like you see with other Korean genres. So I think that's really, really dope. Next has my absolute obsession of the Korean game. Hoodie is back with a new song, Destiny, and this is kind of her version of Limousine, which was on Jay Park's last album. Absolutely love that song. So here in Hoodie's version, it's so good. I love her voice over this beat. I love her voice over every beat. So go definitely check that out. I know she's an R&B singer, but I definitely want to give her as much shine as possible. Benden with a new single, Slow Letter. You got B.O. there on the vocals. Thought this was a pretty interesting single. Definitely like Benden, and I'm glad to see new releases from him. B.O.'s vocals are absolutely fantastic. This definitely takes a kind of more melodic approach, and not down tempo per se, but more smooth and less aggressive kind of delivery from Benden on this one. So that was definitely an interesting change of pace. PH1 with Perfect. I did a reaction to this music video, so go check that out if you haven't thus far. Definitely one of my favorite Korean hip-hop singles at the moment. Definitely has that nice gospel chorus inspiration there on the production side. He's kind of hitting us with some uplifting kind of Christian-based bars, but at the same time not compromising that flow and that content. So PH1, absolute force. Can't speak his praises enough. Definitely go check that single out. Cosmic Girl finally with a new single, Don't You Worry About Me with San-E. I think this is her formal debut into the game with a full-fledged single as Cosmic Girl. She was in the game as when she was in Rania, but now she's doing her thing. On my other channel, K Vibes, I've talked about how much I love her. Did a reaction over there to the music video. Again, if you're into pop music, go check out my other channel, K Vibes. I got all my pop stuff over there. Her song has been my intro on that channel for a minute now. So I'm just in love with her music. She's so beautiful. She's so talented. San-E delivers a great verse that's super fitting for that particular kind of beat. Again, I was speaking how San-E has really grown on me. The first time I heard him a couple years back, I was not into it at all, and people were like, oh, he's a rap god, and I'm like, this dude, he's king of pop rap. But as time has progressed, I've really kind of seen what he's trying to do, seen the vision, and actually really come to appreciate what he was doing. So I really love his verses now. Next, pretty much one of the more prominent songs that have really made a lot of noise lately, Bermuda Triangle. This is a Zico track with Crush and Dean there on the feature. Not the only trio to drop something this week, but we'll get to the second one later. Bermuda Triangle, did a reaction to it. Love the song, love how unconventional that production is. It's grimy, it's gritty. The flow is not your standard K hip hop flow. They're switching it up. The vocals are dope there. Crush has that nice vocal distortion that we've seen a couple times before, especially with his more recent releases, but not including Wanderlust. That was a whole acoustic kind of vibe to it, but definitely Interlude before that. Yeah, man, Zico making some moves here. I'm glad they kind of switched up the formula a lot. He's a very, very versatile MC. We've seen him do more melodic kind of pieces. You are I am me, you are you, or whatever. I always fuck up that title, but that song, that's a whole different vibe than like Tough Cookie per se, which is not particularly a song I'm into, but that's, you know, one kind of thing. So he's showed us to do so many different things. He's done more pop rap stuff with Boys and Girls, but then he has Yes or No, which definitely got that kind of trap vibe to it. So I'm glad to see him still putting up you know, verses and stuff like that, and I hope this leads eventually to another project, because his rookie, you know, formal debut project was actually really, really dope. So Double K with OMG, Seo and Gook, and Doki there on the feature. Second trio to drop something this week, but again, not as popular as Bermuda Triangle. But Double K, big fan of him, you know, New Wave Records. Doing some big moves over here. Absolutely snaps on his particular verse. Love the vibe to this. Love that groove. Love that kind of contemporary pop mainstream sound to it, but at the same time, great vocals from Seo and Gook, and then Doki pretty much does what he normally does on the second half of the track. And then lastly, we're finishing it off with a Microdot with Shake It featuring Loco. Microdot has been incredibly busy lately, dropping constant material. Can't shout him out enough. He's put out a number of songs. I don't know if this is eventually leading to another project. I don't know. But I'm definitely here for it. I always love checking for his songs, and he definitely comes with a more aggressive, up-tempo delivery on this particular track, and Loco does his thing too. I've definitely come to appreciate Loco this past year or so with his new material. So that's it for this week. In the comment section below, let me know, is there any stories that you heard about this week that I didn't talk about? Let me know. And also, what have you guys been listening to? If you're been listening to any Korean hip-hop songs that I did not include on my list, definitely leave that down below. Till next time, this is JV here. I love you guys. Bye.